a similar situation to the Seahawks is the Lions, with one exception. Jared Goff is a much better quarterback than Geno Smith, but the Lions are getting better, and if they spend their first round picks, they get 2 first-round picks. They spend both those on defense. They upgrade a really good Lions team right now, and they're instantly better than last year. But on the other hand, if they snag a future quarterback now and bring him in under Goff, take the pressure off of him, let him study under Goff. But the problem is we don't know when Goff is going to be gone. I mean, has Goff got 1 to 2 years left? I mean, if he's only got 1 to 2 years, that's smart. If he's got 3 to 5 years and you bring in a hot shot, now you're fucking up the locker room. I haven't had a conversation with Jared. I don't know what he's planning on doing, but Jared probably doesn't even know, because most of these guys want to play till like they're Tom Brady and play till they're 57. So, and the problem becomes, right, if they take 2 hot defensive players and they get better next year, they don't get a quarterback in the draft unless they're going to get lucky and get a Brock Purdy. And everybody wants a Brock Purdy. They just don't know where to find him. They haven't found one.
Exactly. Like being able to land that, like that's
nobody's done it since Tom Brady.
Yeah, very hard to do.
Very hard to do.
Which is why I feel like even if they are, like, I feel like they're going to keep Jared Goff and keep riding with him at quarterback. That's why, Ben Johnson, their offensive coordinator for the Lions, going back, like, I feel like that was part of it. Like what they're building in Detroit, Dan Campbell, all of them, what they're building in Detroit, those guys love being together. And Jared Goff showed that he can lead this offense to 30 points a game. And so I think what they're building there is special, but I wouldn't blame them for still picking one of the top quarterbacks with one of their picks. Maybe not their first one, because they could wait a little while and get a guy like Anthony Richardson if he drops, Hendon Hooker if he drops, and Will Levis, who may, a lot of people talking about Will Levis being a top 5, but if he ends up dropping, then I could see the Lions being a team that would pick him up for his upside. But getting one of these young guys to sit behind Jared Goff and see how it's done, and then coming into his own whenever Jared Goff goes somewhere else after his contract runs out. So, but the fact that the Lions were as good as they were this year and exceeded all expectations is amazing for the future. And whatever they're building there with this coaching staff is amazing for their future. Again, the fact that Ben Johnson early on, like right after he got done with his interviews for teams, was like, you know what? I'm not really interested in being a head coach yet. I want to come back and be with my guys here in Detroit, of all places. Like, what coach wants to stay in Detroit and be a coach? You know what I mean? What are we doing? So I think it's special. They just have to keep rebuilding that defense. They did a great job. Their 2022 draft was great. Obviously, you have the ability to build your defense around Aiden Hutchinson and what he brings. He is going to be one of the best defensive linemen over the course of his career. We're talking about Nick Bosa now. We were talking about the same things. Aiden Hutchinson and Nick Bosa, very comparable in their careers, in my opinion. Nick Bosa is probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year this season. So I think they have a lot to build around. They just have to rebuild the secondary, and that'll help them a lot. If you're able to have that two-way street, that helps any defense. They're good in their front 7 for the most part. So you just rebuild the defense through the draft, through free agency. But I think the Lions have a chance to be very good in 2023 if they do it right.
And I agree with everything you said.